Hey world, it's being able to come back to another video. Family, I have to come back to make a serious correction. Upon additional research, that was the actual actually family, that was what the Congress wanted to propose. Congress did propose a $2,000 a month stimulus check and an additional $1,000 a month for the rest of the year. But unfortunately, they axed that. I just did a live, family, telling you guys that they were going to be doing that in this next stimulus. But upon further research, come to find out that that CARES Act that they passed actually would not include an additional stimulus check for us. What they wanted to do, they wanted to, if you were single and you made less than $130,000 a year, you received $2,000 a month. And if you was married and you made less than $260,000 a year, you received $4,000 a month, right? With an additional $500 a month payment coming to per child. Now, that's what they had proposed, but apparently they axed that bill, and they only allocated $484 billion in the second stimulus. And it's so unfortunate because this second stimulus, family, does not include any money for individuals. Instead, it just focused on this new program called the PPP program, which is the Paycheck Protection Program. So instead of giving money to the individuals, instead of giving our money, the taxpayers' money, to the taxpayers, they want to give it to the companies and the small businesses so that you can go back to work. Okay. Even though a lot of these businesses not even open up. See, to me, that's disingenuous, because if you know that everybody's not working, then that money shouldn't be designated to businesses. That money should be designated to individuals. It's our money. And I'm pissed, man, because, you know, like I said, I just did a live, and I put that information out there, which that wasn't the gist of this live, but it was enough to, you know, make people feel comfortable about certain situations that will be coming pretty soon. But unfortunately, family, they're not going to do it. Basically, they just allocated $484 billion for themselves. And I'm going to break it down, guys. Out of that $484 billion, $320 billion is going to the small businesses. Now, mind you, there are a lot of small businesses that have applied for these loans and have not received them. But then you got companies like Ruth Chris, Harvard University, you know, Shake and Shack, all these big $1 million, $1 billion chains getting the loans, and the people that's supposed to get the loans not getting them. So, an additional $320 billion to the PPP program, $60 billion to go to the disaster fund, the Small Business Disaster Fund. Why are you putting $60 billion in a disaster fund when people need money now? $75 billion going to the hospitals. Now, you just gave the hospitals $130 billion in the first stimulus. Now you're going to give them another $75 billion? And then, of course, the last $25 billion, family, is going on corona testing. Now, when somebody can riddle me this, when the last time they had a flu test? So, unfortunately, family, they voted against the stimulus package to include the $2,000 for individuals. But they did include in the second stimulus faith-based organizations, so they will pay the churches. And I don't remember when churches became a business. I thought churches, I didn't know they were businesses. But churches will be getting stimulus, but you won't. So when they open up these churches back, and you're able to go back to worship, just know that most of those churches received your stimulus check. And then, of course, family, I do want to reiterate that if you have a 401k or IRA, they will allow you to withdraw up to $100,000 without a 10% tax, but you will be responsible for at the end of the year. So that whole live I did was for nothing because they still don't love us. And in the meantime, between time, this is being Willie, and I'm out at 5,000.